Nerdhatters, I made a mistake. That's the news for today. So I wrestled with it a lot before announcing that we were going to go to a weekly schedule for season 7. I was kind of on the fence. Should we do this? Should we not? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the bandwidth? And everyone was game to give it a shot, including my co-hosts, Will and Laura. But honestly, after a month of just trying to make it work with all my other responsibilities, most important of which, of course, are my family, taking care of my kids, and our business. Laura and I run a small business together. That's our source of income, Laura Morales Studios. There's just not enough time for me to produce weekly episodes and do them up to the standard of quality that I would like to see. I just don't personally have the bandwidth to handle the scheduling, the recording, and the editing for that. And in all honesty, it's taking away some of the fun as well. And one of the biggest reasons I started this podcast was to have fun and to connected with my friend Will. He came on as a co-host, and that has deepened our friendship over the years of this podcast. And I'm really grateful for that just regular, consistent touch point that the two of us have had. It's deepened my friendship with my wife, Laura, and her friendship with Will. And the three of us together have just had a lot of fun. And then not to mention all the guests that we've had over the years. But there's a reason why we went to a bi-weekly schedule back in 2024, continued it through 2025. It's just that didn't feel like we had the bandwidth. But this year I was like, I want to give it a shot. Maybe we can do it again. Maybe we can go back to weekly. Maybe we can handle it. And I just can't. I can't justify taking time away from other more important projects and people. As much fun as I have doing this podcast, there is a lot of work on the back end, and that takes time away from other things. And I really don't just want to throw content out there just for its own sake. I want it to be good. I want it to be creative. That's really something I'd love to see us do more of. I've talked with my co-hosts about this. I want us to create more original content of our own, whether it's a parody or a satire related to the episode that we're doing or the review that we're doing that week, or whether it's like legitimate, like this is completely original content that we're creating. We did a little bit of that in the very first season, honestly, and I'd love to get back to some of that. There's one of the reasons our kids need a lot of attention. We both work from home, so it's hard. But beginning March 9th, we're going to go back to a bi-weekly release schedule. If we have the capacity to drop some occasional bonus episodes, the plan is for those to go to Patreon only. So that's where the focus is going to be in terms of any bonus episodes, as well as video versions of our normal episodes. If we do release a full video episode, those will also be for patrons only at a paid tier. Now, there will be the capacity, and I'm planning for this at the free tier for anyone who wants to join at the free tier on Patreon to participate in Nerdhatter Chatter. So the Nerdhatter Chatter is just basically, it's a discussion group. It's a discussion thread, conversation thread where anyone can come on, including the co-host. We'll come on as ourselves. Sometimes we'll make official announcements in that as the Nerdhat podcast. That's separate from the post feed. Now we will have access to regular episodes through Patreon if you like to listen through Patreon. If we ever get to a point where we're having paid advertisements, a bonus on Patreon would be ad-free, obviously. But initially, just you'll have the option to listen there if you'd like to. So to sum up, we're going back to bi-weekly. I feel dumb. I feel like I should, but we gave it a shot, and there's just a lot going on, not the least of which is honestly just Will and I are still going through seasons of grief. My dad died a year ago this month. Will's dad died just a couple months ago. That's a lot. That's heavy. And just on a personal level, we don't need to be adding too much work onto our shoulders. But fun and connection, time together, that we can do. So we're going back to bi-weekly beginning March 9th. Thank you for your patience, Nerdhatters. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. And wherever you listen, if you could just take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, follow, give us a rating, a review, whatever that platform offers. We would really appreciate that, particularly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel or you're listening, that helps us a lot. That helps us move up in the ratings. If you like or give a comment, that also helps. If you share, obviously, our episodes, that's very appreciated, which we really would appreciate. With all that being said, one thing that hasn't changed is that we do still want to know what's in your nerd hat. We want to know your ideas or suggestions for topics we should cover. We want to know if you're interested in coming on as a guest. And also, it will change, obviously, from what we said. It's not going to be the fourth week, the fourth episode of every month, because we're just going to have 2 episodes of every month. So I think what we may do instead, rather than having a dedicated, I don't know, we got to figure that out. But regardless, we want to know what you think. We want to hear from you. We want to know your ideas, your suggestions, and we can throw them into the hat. Because with the exception of some of our planned episodes, which we are going to have some planned episodes during the season, but for the non-planned episodes, we literally just shake up all the topics, all the possible topics that we have pre-selected, and those could be some of yours. We shake them up and pull it out of the hat. So our next episode, which will be dropping on the 23rd of March now, we're going to be reviewing Sega Genesis basketball games, specifically NBA Live 96. Now, I wanted to find the first basketball game that I really fell in love with, and that was NBA Action 95. I got that for Christmas of 1995, but I have not located that yet, at least at our local stores. This one I did pick up from Retroid Games. This was, I think, the second basketball game that I really loved. I played this a lot. I loved the feature it had to create players, and you could play full seasons on this thing. It's pretty amazing for the 90s, and one of the best basketball games of the 90s, in my opinion. And the Sega Genesis is arguably the best version of it. That's the version that I played. So we're going to be talking about that on March 23rd. All right, Nerdhaters, again, thank you for your patience as we're just figuring shit out. And as always, I hope you have fun, that you enjoy connecting with things that we find nerdy and nostalgic, and we want to connect with you too. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to cover, and let's have fun with it. Till next time, Nerdhaters, live long and prosper.